Super Tuesday, a terrific Maryland team. Really has everything you could look for in a team, with a great point guard, depth at the inside positions, shooters on the court, really, really good team. So we are, the Purdue game obviously was one that we did not play as well as we can. You got to credit that to a tremendous Purdue team. The good news is that we put 70 points on a pretty good defensive team. The bad news is our defense in the second half was just awful. And so as a result, you lose that game. So you all want your Caris report, right? Which it seems we've been having an injury report here for about 3 years. So the injury report is less pain every day, less yesterday. We elected not to have him still practice yesterday because let the healing try to complete itself. I'm not optimistic about tomorrow. The longer it goes, the more he's going to need 2 or 3 days of practice, or he won't be ready, or we could risk further injury. So that's what I got to say, and that's all I prefer to say. So if you ask me anything more, I already said it. And I said it well, too. I said it was well said.
Jacob wants to say.
Yes, Jacob. Anything that doesn't ask a question about Caris.
Maryland seems like a team that can kind of hurt you in a lot of ways. They have, guards, Trimble and Miles, some pretty capable bigs too. What's kind of the biggest thing you're focusing on going to it? Such a well-rounded team.
Well, Trimble, if you watch them, when Wisconsin hit the 3, right, to tie the game the other day, and it was like he just comes down the court, and there was no panic at all. It reminded me of a guy we had as well. He just, okay, well, I guess I just got to win it now, and he did it. So he obviously, like Trey Burke, is a tremendous player, but he's also got, like Trey Burke, he's got a lot of pieces around him that they continue to do well with the transfer route and the fifth-year guy again, or whatever Suleiman is. And so it's a challenge because once again they're going to have a much more experienced team than us, and we're trying to get to there, but we just can't get there.
Chris?
What's Derek's role in Caris' absence, and do you think he's got another gear yet that he can give you?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, and he's that we're encouraging that. I mean, just look at his shooting numbers right now. For as far as a point guard, I mean, his shooting numbers. So we want him to, where he's always been a pass-first point guard. That's not a bad thing, but he's got to. He's the way he's shooting the ball, whether it's off the dribble, good game, bad game. He makes shots, and we want him to take shots because he's pretty good at making them.
Do you think there are times he's hesitant to do that?
Yeah, without question.
Yeah.
Without question, and that's it's a tough thing to figure out sometimes. There's some guys you can't tell them that, they think every shot's a good shot. Measure himself a little bit, and that's with me and him and everybody. We got to encourage him to shoot it when he's open, pass it when he's not.
And then real quick, what makes him such a great rebounder for his size?
That's tough to figure out. He got one yesterday, Chris, in practice, and I just said, sometimes you have these players and you look at weaknesses they may have, blind spots they may have, and then I look at that and I said, I probably never have another guard, that point guard, that rebounds and elevates like he does. You never saw him dunk in a game, and you may never see that. But I swear some of his rebounds were ones that were way above the rim. So he can jump off 2 feet really well. That's helpful.
Brandon?
I guess just when it comes to kind of trying to figure out how to replace Caris, on a game-by-game basis, I guess just how much more difficult is it when it's, you want to replace the scoring, you also want to replace the assists,
Yeah.
you also, and there's no one
steals.
body,
Yeah.
everything. So I guess how do you play off of
But
that?
what we're trying to do, and this is the good news, is that we have some options that we can use that maybe we wouldn't have used. And now we got to just put those in games and say, okay, here's your opportunity, right? Muhammad seized a great opportunity to play major minutes the other day. Mark and DJ both had some great opportunities, and I'm confident they can play better. They can shoot from the outside. All these things are that you might not had to go to, right? You go to, and every time they're going to get. Our hope is every time they're going to get a little bit better.
And I guess just to kind of follow that, when the offense is kind of maybe getting a little stagnant or whatever, you kind of desperately need someone to get the ball and go. Obviously, Muhammad can give that to you, but do you want him to be the guy in late in the game that kind of takes
Well,
over?
in that game, he was a guy that we felt, whether it's matchup related, whether it's just he's feeling it. In that game, we were trying to get him to being more of a ball handling, decision-making process. And his decision was, here, try and stop this, and he did real well with it. So it just, like I said, that 25 points off of him, I mean, he came out of the summer with an injured hamstring, and, I mean, he was on the scout team the first week because he'd come out of the summer with this nagging hamstring and hadn't been able to put in the time. And he just went, wow, he just, right now, he's diving on the floor, he's doing all the things that you sort of expect from a sophomore, but it wasn't indigenous to him coming in, of defending and doing some of the things he's doing right now. Now, as he increases his court awareness and we put him in more ball screen, we have high expectations.
Chris?
How much of DJ's defensive deficiency, I guess, against Purdue was physical, and how much would you say was mental and inexperience?
You know, here's what I just liked about it. He was scrappy. I mean, here's a young man playing in the post against two huge post players, and it was scrappy. And he sometimes it looked like he gave up a layup. There was a double team supposed to come. It was supposed to come several times, and it never came. So he was leading them to the double team, and the double team wasn't there. And so that's a point that's got to fall on me right there. That obviously I thought we had prepared it well enough. We hadn't prepared it well enough because we didn't do it. So it falls on the coach. So when he's giving up a layup, letting a guy go to the right-hand hook shot, the double team was supposed to come from the other side.
Mark?
You talked about Muhammad and his development. Is passing part of that? Because we haven't seen.
Yeah,
much
we
of that.
need to see more assists out of it, and he's getting better at it. We'll see these little glimpses of him and Aubrey, both. If you notice that two guard in our offense usually has around 100 assists by the end of the year if he's playing a lot of minutes, whether it was Tim Hardaway, I think might have got 90 one year. Those are like really good numbers for him. And so neither of them are in that category. Now, we are probably playing less through him, so he doesn't have some of those opportunities, but that's the next step for him right now. His first, to make a jump shot with Muhammad was big at the beginning. He's starting to do that. To really play hard and defend was a big part. Now the next part is pick. We had other passers. Now we don't have Caris. He's got to do some of that stuff. You got to see the open man.
Is it the opposite of Derek, where his tendency is to shoot?
No, he's not. No, he's not like that. He's not. He's trying to play the whole game. And he's not anxious to just. I'm going to shoot it no matter what. But he's so quick, Mark, that he just can get to the basket, and then he can get to the basket and find this open, hole. Whether it's at 2 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock, he'll find an area to score. And you can't.